When you look at the first example, you said it was a factual one, so the referee doesn't really need to go and have a look at it. But when you hear the VAR describe the second incident in terms of it's hit the thigh, his arms are outside of his body, if you like. So why was the referee sent on that occasion?
Yeah, it's a good question, because there is still some judgment to be made by the official in this case, because we think it probably brushes the arm, we don't know for sure. But he might think, okay, he's leaned into it, I'm still going to stick with my penalty decision. I think he was right to overturn it.
Football world. That penalty decision, Liverpool versus Manchester United, remember that?
Oh, how could we forget? It's been all over the headlines, social media, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. So we've got articles, we've got quotes, even the Premier League chimed in.
The Premier League itself.
The Premier League itself, wow.
Oh yeah, they had to. It was that big of a deal. But we're not just going to recap, okay? We want to go deeper, understand what this whole thing means for the future of football. Like, where does tech fit in? What about human judgment? Can the two coexist?
It's a huge question, right? I mean, this incident really highlights the whole debate about VAR. Is it actually making things fairer, or is it causing more confusion?
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, let's set the scene, right? Second half, Liverpool, Manchester United. Tension's high, as you can imagine. And then, boom, a Liverpool attacker goes down in the box.
Under minimal contact, some would say. Some would say, yeah. But the ref, he doesn't hesitate. Points straight to the spot. Penalty.
And of course, everyone's looking to VAR now, right? That's what it's there for, to double check those big calls. So the video assistant referee, they're reviewing the footage, different angles, slow motion, the whole shebang.
But even after all that, the penalty stands. And that's when things really exploded.
Oh yeah, the fallout was massive.
Huge. Manchester United's manager, Ruben Amorim, he was, well, let's just say he wasn't happy.
Understandably so.
Totally. I mean, his quote, it kind of says it all. We expect VAR to bring clarity, not confusion. The contact was barely there, and it's disappointing that such a decision influenced the outcome.
And that's the key point, isn't it? The whole idea behind VAR was to eliminate those bad calls, those howlers that could completely change a game. But if it's not doing that, then what's the point?
Right, and if it's supposed to be this, like, ultimate truth teller, why are we still seeing these controversial calls? Even the pundits, they couldn't agree.
They rarely do, to be fair.
True, but this time it was really divided. Gary Neville, he straight up called it one of the worst VAR decisions we've seen.
Strong words.
Yeah, but then you got Jamie Carragher, and he's saying, look, even with tech, referees still have a tough job. They're making split-second decisions in a really fast-paced game.
And that's the heart of the matter, isn't it? We've got this technology that's meant to be objective, but football, it's a game of subjective interpretation. Was there enough contact for a penalty? Was it a dive? These are judgment calls, even with replays.
And to make things even spicier, Liverpool ended up winning the match, 2-1.
Which, of course, had huge implications for both teams.
Absolutely. Could boost Liverpool's title hopes, put even more pressure on Manchester United for a top 4 finish. No wonder the Premier League stepped in, announced a review of the incident, promised more transparency.
Yeah, it's definitely gone beyond just one match now. It's raising fundamental questions about VAR, about technology and football as a whole.
So does this whole thing erode trust in VAR? Like, do we even believe in it anymore?
It's a valid question. And then what's the balance between technology and human judgment? Do we want robots calling the shots, essentially?
That's a scary thought.
It is.
But this review, it's interesting, right? Could we see actual changes to the VAR protocols?
Yeah.
Maybe clearer guidelines on when to use it, a time limit on reviews?
It's possible, but I think no matter what, we have to accept that human error will always be part of the game.
Part of the beauty of it, some might say.
Exactly. Football is emotional, it's passionate, and part of that comes from debating those close calls, those controversial decisions. If everything was black and white, would it even be as fun?
Good point. So what do you think then? Is VAR the problem? Or is it how we're using it?
That's the million-dollar question.
Maybe we need to think outside the box here. Could we make the VAR process more transparent for fans? Like, let them hear the conversations between the refs. Or maybe stricter guidelines for what actually constitutes a clear and obvious error. It's a conversation we need to have.
For sure. Ultimately, we all want a fair and exciting game. And this incident, it's sparked a really important conversation about how to achieve that. It's on all of us, fans, players, officials, everyone, to find that balance between keeping the spirit of the sport alive and using technology effectively.
Lots to think about. So listeners, what are your thoughts? Hit us up on social media. Let us know your ideas. We're all in this together.
Absolutely. Let's keep the discussion going. Because at the end of the day, we all love the beautiful game, and we want to keep it that way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep those football debates lively.
Keep them passionate.
And we'll see you soon for another deep dive into the world of sport.
See you then.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.